If you take images connected to dead Bart, Hero Brian, Polybius, and Ben drowned and look at them purely in terms of what they actually are, where they come from, how they were made, and what source material they use, you end up with a very clear pattern. None of them originate as genuine lost media or unexplained discoveries. Instead, each one can be traced back to either edited content, recreated visuals, or entirely fabricated designs that were later framed as something mysterious. Starting with Dead Bart, this is directly tied to The Simpsons, but not in any official capacity. There has never been a real episode produced by the show that matches the description given in the Creepypasta. The images people associate with Dead Bart are created after the story, not before it. In many cases, they are edited screenshots taken from real episodes, where the colors are darkened, the backgrounds are simplified, or the characters are altered to appear more still or lifeless. In other cases, they are entirely original drawings made by fans who deliberately copy the visual style of the show. Same line thickness, same color palette, same proportions, but change the content to match the story. Some versions attempt to mimic what an actual animation frame would look like, including slight imperfections or compression artifacts, to make it feel authentic. Others go further and create full sequences of images that look like they could belong to an episode, even though they were never animated or aired. The key point is that all of these images are constructed using knowledge of the show's style. There is no original Dead Bart frame stored in any archive, no production leak, and no confirmed source from within the studio. Everything that exists visually was made afterward, either by editing real material or recreating it from scratch. The Hero Brian image comes from Minecraft, developed by Mojang, and its origin is much easier to pinpoint. The very first widely shared image was a normal in-game screenshot where the player character had been edited so that the eyes were completely white. This was not a feature in the game. It was a simple visual modification. From there, people began creating more images. Some used basic editing software to alter screenshots, while others used in-game tools, mods, or multiplayer setups to stage scenes. For example, a player could place a character model at a distance, adjust the lighting, and take a screenshot that looks like an accidental sighting. Others would build structures or arrange environments to make the scene feel more unusual, then capture it from a specific angle. Over time, these images became more elaborate, but they all follow the same principle. They are either edited screenshots or staged scenarios inside the game. There is no official Hero Brian character coded into the game, and the developers have repeatedly confirmed that it was never part of the original design. Every image associated with Hero Brian is the result of user creation, not something generated by the game itself. Polybius is different because there is no original visual source to begin with. The story describes an arcade machine that supposedly existed in the early 1980s, but there is no verified evidence that such a machine was ever produced by a real company. Because of this, every image associated with Polybius is a recreation. People have created mock arcade cabinets with the name Polybius on them, either by physically building props or by digitally editing existing arcade machine photos. In some cases, creators take a real arcade cabinet and replace the game title with Polybius, adjusting the lighting and adding where to make it look old. In other cases, they design the entire machine digitally, including the screen display, control panel, and side art. Filters are often applied to simulate age, grain, color fading, scratches, and low-quality resolution. Some images even attempt to replicate the look of early digital photography, adding blur or distortion to make the image feel like it was captured decades ago. But all of these are interpretations. There is no single original photograph that everything traces back to, because the game itself has never been confirmed to exist. The images are built entirely from imagination, guided by the details described in the story. Ben Drowned is connected to The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, also released by Nintendo, and its images are a mix of real gameplay and deliberate modification. Many of the visuals come from actual screenshots or recordings of the game, but they are altered to create effects that do not occur naturally. This can include changing in-game text, modifying character behavior, or introducing visual glitches. Some of these effects are created through simple editing after the image is captured, while others are produced by modifying the game itself using emulators or tools that allow changes to the game's code or assets. For example, a creator might alter a texture, adjust a character model, or force the game to display something unusual, then record it as if it were happening naturally. The character Ben is not part of the original game at all. It was invented for the story. The images exist to make that story feel believable by showing something that looks like real gameplay but behaves differently. So while the base material is authentic, the unusual elements are intentionally added. When you compare all four of these side by side, the similarities become very clear. Dead Bart images are built from an existing animated series and recreated or edited to match a fictional episode. Hero Brian images are taken from a real game but altered or staged by players to create the illusion of something hidden. Polybius images are completely fabricated, designed to look like documentation of a machine that likely never existed. Ben Drowned images use real game footage, but modify it to produce events that are not part of the original game. In every case, the image comes after the idea, not before it. Someone imagines a concept, a lost episode, a hidden character, a mysterious machine, a haunted game, and then creates or edits visuals to support that concept. The techniques vary, but they all rely on making the image look as close as possible to something real, whether that means copying an animation style, matching in-game graphics, or simulating the appearance of an old photograph. So what you are actually looking at with these images is not evidence of anything unknown, but examples of how existing media can be reshaped. They are constructed using familiar materials, television frames, video game environments, or recognizable hardware designs, and then altered in ways that make them seem unusual. The realism comes from how closely they imitate the original sources, not from any genuine origin as lost or hidden content. Once those images are separated from the stories that surround them, they become much easier to understand. They are not fragments of something hidden or forbidden. They are deliberate creations, built step by step, using tools and references that are widely available, and then shared in a way that encourages people to see them as something more than what they actually are.